Till here we have discussed in yesterday's class. Repeat when the germ layers are going to degenerate. Okay, Rashmi. Okay, wait, Prathamesh. So at the first, during the formation of morula, during that morula stage, the outer layer called a corona radiata is going to be degenerate. And after that, the blastula, at the end of the blastula, the zona pellucida is going to be degenerate. Okay, so how the gastrula is going to be formed? I mean, gastrulation happens is that the three germ layers are going to be formed. So that embryonal knob, some few cells of the embryonal knob starts to divide and forms a layer inside called the endometrium wall, and few more cells divides and forms a lump or group of cells. Those are called as endoderm, mesoderm, and the last few cells are remain. Those cells forms a complete layer that is called ectoderm. That's it. This is how the three germ layers are going to be formed. And now let us see how these three germ layers are going to give rise to the other parts. I mean, which layer is going to give rise to which part? Which one, Pranit? Pranit, which one you want me to repeat? This one. Yes. Can you just let me know? Okay, this is very easy. So once the zygote has formed, and that till the 8th week, so we have totally 120, we have totally 9 months, right? So out of these 9 months, till the 8th week, we are going to call the development as the embryo. After the 8th week, till the birth of the baby, we are going to call that as a fetus. That's it. And ectoderm, from the ectoderm, what are all the organs of the humans going to be formed is that epidermis of the skin. And we know ectoderm is the outer layer, endoderm is the inner layer, mesoderm is the middle layer, right? So all the outer parts are going to be formed by the ectoderm. Outer parts means what? Our skin is made up of many layers, right? So out of all these many layers, dermis is the outer layer, or epidermis is the outer layer. So that epidermis of the skin and its derivatives like glands and hair follicles, everything formed by the ectoderm. And the mouth and the anus lining is made up of epithelial cells, right? Those epithelial cells are also formed by the ectoderm. And cornea and lens of the eye, nervous system, sensory receptors in epidermis, and adrenal gland have two parts, medulla, okay, and the cortex. So the medulla of an adrenal gland is also formed by the ectoderm, and the tooth enamel, yes, the tooth enamel is also formed. And yes, epithelial of a pineal gland and pituitary gland is also formed by the ectoderm. And what about the mesoderm? The notochord will form by the mesoderm, and the skeletal system is also formed by the mesoderm. The muscular system, muscular layer of a stomach and intestine is also formed by this. Excretory system, circulatory and lymphatic system, reproductive system, dermis of a skin, right, lining of a body cavity, adrenal cortex, everything by the mesoderm. Next is the inner layer, endoderm is going to develop as the epithelial lining of the digestive tract, the complete digestive tract, epithelial line inside, that is made up of endoderm, and epithelial lining of the respiratory system as well, and the lining of urethra, urinary bladder, and the reproductive system, liver, pancreas, thymus, thyroid, and parathyroid glands. Everything will be formed by the endometrium wall. Okay. So, so far we have seen how the zygote is going to be converted as a morula, morula to blastula, blastula to gastrula. Meanwhile, the implantation has also taken place. Now, we are going to study about the placenta. Okay, do you have any idea about the placenta? If you have any idea, you can say here. Yes, what is that? I mean, can you tell me, Rakshita? Yes, Manvita, very good. Yes, Nishita, correct, very good. Okay, Aditya, correct. Placenta helps in the nourishment of a body in the mother. Blood transfers from a mother to embryo. Yes, Pranit, everything what you guys are saying is correct. So the placenta is formed between the developing embryo and the mother, right? Can I say that? Where the proteins exchange between the mother and the fetus. Yes, correct. So let me tell you, or let me explain you here. Just give me a second. Yes, Bhavana, I'll tell you. I'll come to that point. Okay, there is a slide for that. Yes. Okay. The formation of placenta. What is placenta actually is that it is a mechanical and physiological connection between maternal body and fetus, or between mother and fetus, is called as the placenta. Right, this is what we can call as a placenta, but how exactly the placenta is made up of? I mean, which part of the mother or which part of the baby can be form a placenta is that? See, this is the endometrium wall, right? This is what? The endometrium wall, and this is what? The zygote, which is developing. This is the developing zygote. Prathamesh, I have repeated. Okay, I'll tell you at the end once again. Okay, Prathamesh. Okay, Prathamesh, just ask me at the end. I'll let you know. No problem. Okay, see, this embryo produces the chorionic villi, right? This embryo produces the chorionic villi, and this is the what? Endometrium wall. This is endometrium wall. And what is this? This is the embryo. Okay, so the chorionic villi of the embryo, chorionic villi of embryo and the endometrium. Okay, now we are going to call this endometrium. Okay, endometrium is made up of so many blood vessels and other things, right? So this part of the endometrium we are going to call as a decidua. We're going to call this as what? Decidua. Okay, so the decidua plus chorionic villi, both together we are going to call as the placenta. Okay, how the placenta is going to be formed? The chorionic villi of an embryo and the decidua of an endometrium wall combinedly forms a placenta. Okay, is this clear? How the placenta is going to be formed? It is a mechanical and physiological connection between a mother and the fetus. Yes, we know. And how it is happening? The chorionic villi and the decidua combinedly, attached and form a structure called a placenta. Is this clear? Click on yes. Is this clear? Click on yes if it is clear. Only one student, 3, 4. Okay, yes, very good. Okay, now we will see, you can unclick now. Now we will see the functions of placenta. What are the functions of placenta? Very good, Ananya. See, we know the placenta is the connection between a mother and the baby, right? From the mother, how the baby is going to take a nutrition is that with the help of the placenta. Okay, here one more thing I forgot to tell you. Once, see, if this is the placenta which is formed, and this is the baby which starts to develop, right? This is a baby which starts to develop, and the placenta has a connection with the baby. After the, I mean, yes, first the chorionic villi will be there. After many days, what happens? The development of baby starts, right? So at that time, there is a connection between the placenta to the fetus. That connection is called as the umbilical cord. Umbilical cord. Okay. So through the placenta, the mother can give the nutrition to the baby. Okay. And the excretion, yes, if once the baby has taken the nutrition, it has to excrete, right? So that excretion is to the mother. Okay, the baby is going to excrete in the blood of the mother. Okay, then the mother is going to excrete the remaining things along with the excretion of the baby. So that excretion is also go to the mother with the help of the placenta itself. And this placenta will act as a barrier. This placenta is going to act as a barrier. Barrier for what? Barrier for so many pathogens. Okay, if the mother affected with the any kind of bacteria or any kind of fungus, so that bacteria or fungus cannot move through the placenta to the baby. I mean, it cannot affect the baby. But there are some things which can move or which can cross the placenta, like a HIV. Do you know about HIV? You might have heard this, right? So if the mother is having a AIDS or HIV, there are chances that the baby can also get the HIV. Did you heard this? Did you hear this? Sneha is saying yes. Meghana, yes. Yes, Aditya. Okay, great. So how does it happen? Means this placenta cannot stop. Yes, Samarth. Samarth, after so many days you have came to the class, right? Okay. Right. That placenta cannot stop the HIV. One thing, and one more thing, if the mother is taking any kind of drugs, if the mother is taking any kind of drugs, and those drugs also cannot stop by the placenta, those drugs also reach to the baby. That's why always the pregnant woman is suggested not to take the drugs. But if she is having any what I can say, any habit like taking a drugs and all, she is suggested to stop during the pregnancy, because the baby can also affect by that. Okay, so the virus like HIV, some of the drugs, yes, viruses can move through the placenta. But apart from these, remaining all the pathogens can be stopped by the placenta. That's why the placenta can act as a barrier to the corona. I don't think so, but yes, it can move. No, 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 Aditya. No, no, maybe. Okay, next is that respiration of the baby can also takes place with the help of placenta. If the mother is taking oxygen in, that oxygen can also go and reach to the baby through the placenta, and that baby that baby is going to exhale the carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide will be reach the mother again through the placenta. And have you heard about this stem cells? Did you heard about the stem cells? Yes or no? I mean, a few years back, there was an advertisement also from the government, to save the, yes, few people heard, few people don't, and few people not at all interested to respond in the chat box. Why? Okay, see, the stem cells means they have a capacity called a totipotency, which means the totipotency is itself, if we have a cell, okay, they are going to, if the female is pregnant, then what happens? The placenta is going to develop, right? From the placenta, a few of the placental cells are going to act as, a few of the placental cells are going to act as a stem cells. Okay, if we store those stem cells for the future, so if any of the organ has got damaged, or if any of the organ has got dysfunctioning, then what happens, with the help of that stem cell, we can grow the new organ, and we can introduce that organ to that human, right? That is what the stem cell. So storage of organ and endocrine organ also act as acted by the placenta. Did you got the stem cells? If there is only one cell, we can culture that cell and we can create an organ itself. Yes, clear with this? The function of placenta. Yes, Dhanamma is saying yes. Where are the others? Yes, Likita, good. Nishita. Okay, so here one more word I want to introduce, that is teratogens. Teratogens means what? Teratogens are the chemicals which can cross the placenta and affect the baby. Okay, teratogens are the chemicals which can cross the placenta and affect the embryo. Okay, the best example is that a mercury. If a female pregnant who has conceived, I'm sorry, who have taken the mercury by mistakenly or along with the water, along with the food, then that mercury can cross the placenta and cause the diseases to the developing embryo or the developing fetus. Okay. Now this placenta produces some of the hormones. Okay, the function of placenta, not only the nutrition, excretion, barrier, all those things, but apart from this, it has also the function of producing the hormones. What are those hormones? Is that one is the human chronic gonadotrophin. What is the function of human chronic gonadotrophin? As I have told you already. Yes, what is the function of HCG or human chronic gonadotrophin? Yes, it takes over the function of luteinizing hormone, which means the luteinizing hormone maintains the corpus luteum level, right? So this human chronic gonadotrophin, which can also produced by the placenta, that is going to maintain the corpus luteum. Okay. Second one is that human placental lactogen. What is the function of human placental lactogen is that, so once the placentation has taken place, then the memory glands are stimulated of the mother. The mother memory glands are stimulated because this placenta produces the human placental lactogen. Okay, and one more thing is that the estrogen and progesterone can also produced by the placenta itself. And the last one is that relaxin hormone. Relaxin hormone is also produced by the placenta, which can be useful for the relaxation of pubic muscles, which means at the pubic area where uterus is present, that if this is the size of uterus, see, this is the size of uterus, and the baby or the embryo is growing inside the uterus, now the uterus has to move bigger, and the area around this is called as a pubic area. This pubic area also has to get relaxed, right? So that is by the relaxin hormone. Understand? So apart from all these hormones, only the human chronic gonadotrophin human placental lactogen, and relaxin. These three hormones are secreted only during the pregnancy. But the estrogen and progesterone can be secreted all the time in the females. But during the pregnancy, only this HCG, HPL, and the relaxin are going to be formed. Yes. Is this clear about the placenta and the function of placenta and what are all the hormones? No, it is not going to relax the outside the uterus. The relaxin is going to the pubic area. Okay, it is going to relax the pubic area, especially during the parturition. I'll tell you while explaining about the parturition, then you will come to this point, Prathamesh. Okay. Yes, now we will study about the extra embryonic membranes. So what are the germ layers? I mean, yes, what are the germ layers? Tell me, what are the germ layers? Yes, endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm. We know that, right? So these endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm forms, they are going to form a fetus. Okay, so apart from these germ layers, there are few more extra embryonic layers. So these layers, what happens, we know the baby cannot respire. I mean, the fetus cannot respire, the fetus cannot excrete on its own, or there is no kidney in the fetus so far, right? So all these functions are taken by the layers which are present externally. Okay, if this is an embryo, this embryo contains the two layers. One is that the yolk sac, and the another one is that the allantois. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, this embryo contains the totally 4 extra embryonic layers. Out of that, one is that yolk sac. Yolk sac, and this one, which is also attached to the embryo, is called as the allantois. Okay, and one more layer which is present all around the embryo. This is what called as the amnion. Did you heard about the amnion? Did you heard about the amnion? See, if you heard means just you can say, what do you know about amnion and all? Okay, I'll explain. Right. And around all this, there is one more large layer that is what called the chorion layer. Okay, this is what the chorion layer, which is going to produce the chorionic villi. Okay, this is what the chorion. Okay, now let us see what are the functions of the yolk sac and what are the functions of, okay, this is a C, right? Allantois and all. Okay, first one is that yolk sac. In the yolk sac, the food is stored. Okay, it stores the food. This yolk sac is going to store the food, and then what happens, by storing the food, this yolk sac act as a extra embryonal gut. Extra embryonal, 1 minute. Extra embryonal gut. Okay, this is going to act as extra embryonal gut. Yolk sac, what does a yolk sac do? Yolk sac is going to store the food which is required for the embryo, and by storing the food, this yolk sac is going to act as an extra embryonal gut. Okay, extra embryonal gut. Gut means the just a digestive system. Okay, so here while developing, this yolk sac is going to act as an extra embryonal gut, because inside the embryo the gut is not yet formed. That's why this yolk sac is going to act, which is present outside the embryo. That's why we are going to call as extra embryonal gut. Next one is that allantois. Allantois is going to store nitrogen. Yes, if the allantois store and purifies the nitrogen, then it is called as what? I mean, it take over the which function? Can anyone tell me? Very good, Om, super. Great, man. Next, anyone? Okay, so this allantois, yes, Prathamesh, great. So this act as extra embryonal kidney. Okay, so it is going to take over the function of kidney, but which is the extra embryonal. Okay, and the next one is that the amnion. Have you ever heard about the amniotic fluid? Yes, have you ever heard about the amniotic fluid? Yes or no? Amniotic fluid, or you might have heard this, right? So the baby in the uterus, I mean the baby inside the mother womb, no, not the saliva. In the mother womb, the baby always present in a liquid medium. Yes, Om. The baby is always present in the liquid medium. Did you heard that? Yes or no? Inside the mother womb, the baby always present in the liquid medium. Did you heard that? Okay, you have heard about this. So what is that liquid? Is that liquid is actually the amniotic liquid. Okay, this amnion contains a liquid called amniotic fluid. Okay, amniotic fluid. Right, this amnion always contains a liquid. That liquid we can call as an amniotic fluid. What is the function of this amniotic fluid? Is that this amniotic fluid is going to act as a shock absorber. Okay, this is going to act as a shock absorber, and it also provides a liquid medium for the developing embryo. It is going to provide a liquid medium for developing embryo so that the embryo can rotate inside the mother womb. Okay, so this is about the amnion. And one more thing, if the lady who is conceived, if she went to the doctors, I mean if she went for the doctor consultancy, they're going to extract some of the liquid, I mean they're going to extract the amniotic fluid, and they're going to say how the baby is developing. Do you know how they can say that? Yes, how they can say that, do you know? Okay, see, this embryo is going to, or embryo or the fetus is going to remove its some of the cells or leave it some of the cells, and these cells are called as the fetal cells. Okay, these cells are called as the fetal cells. If the doctors extract the amniotic liquid, what happens, or amniotic fluid, in that amniotic fluid the fetal cells also they can extract. Okay, by extracting the fetal cells, what happens, they can culture the cells. Doctors can culture the cells, and after culturing they can say, okay, the baby development is this, the baby is growing healthy, or the baby is growing like this, they will say, right, by the fetal cells which are present in the amniotic fluid. Okay, yes, is this clear or not? Come on guys, you need to reply in the chat box, otherwise we can't move, I mean otherwise we can't go in an interesting way. Okay, yes, clear. So the next one is that the chorion. Yes, very good. Next one is that a chorion layer which is present all around the embryo. So how does it do? I mean, what is the function of the chorion layer is that this chorion layer is going to act as the extra embryonic lung. Extra embryonic lung. Okay, this is going to act as extra embryonic lung. This is all about the extra embryonal layers. One is the yolk sac, which is extra embryonal gut, allantois, which is extra embryonal kidney, amnion, which contains the amniotic fluid, and the chorion, which is an extra embryonic lung or extra embryonal lung. Okay, now we have cleared how the fetus is developing. So which month? During the first month, what are the organs are going to develop? I mean, let us see the development in each and every month. Have you ever visited to the science exhibitions? Have you ever visited to the science exhibitions? Yes or no? No, yes. Okay. So in the Karnataka, there is a place called a Manipal. Okay, in the Karnataka, there is a place called a Manipal. In the Manipal, I mean, how in the hospital of the Manipal, there is a museum. Okay, yes. So in that Manipal museum, you can see. Okay, so far I am from a Karnataka, so I am saying this, and I don't know. Sonography. Okay, Harsh, I'll tell you. Okay, there what happens in the Manipal Museum, you can see the development of a baby from 1 month to the 9th month. That's a very good museum. Yes, Kiran. Once if you got a chance, you can visit after the Corona days. See, during the first month, heart is going to develop. Heart of the baby is going to be developed during the first month. Okay, and second month, the limbs and digits will develop. What are the limbs? Limbs like means a hand and the legs, and the digits are like a fingers. Okay, so first month of the pregnancy, the heart is going to develop, and during the second month, limbs and digits will develop, and the third month, all the major organs will get developed. That's why usually doctors suggest the females who have got conceived to be careful till the third month. Once the all the major organs develop, yes, after that also they have to be careful, but these three months are very crucial because the baby is developing at that age itself. Okay, and the fifth month, the movement of the baby, we can see the movement of the baby inside the mother's womb. Okay, and next at the 6th month, the body hair, eyelashes, I mean all the body hairs, hair on the head and eyelashes starts to develop at the 6th month. And the eyelids, so far during the, I mean at the end of the 5th month, the eyelids cannot get open. At the 6th month, yes, I got this from a Google, Prathamesh. Okay, at the 6th month, the eyelids will get open, and by the end of the 9th month, the baby is fully ready to come out. And do you know, usually in the Hindu tradition, what do they do is that, I mean, what do we do is that we do a function, right, during the 7th month. Yes, during the 7th month or the 9th month, like that. Did you know this? The function called Simanta, like that. Yes. What is the use of that? I mean, why should the old, I mean, our elders kept that? Yes, Rashmi. Why do we, I mean, why do the people kept that is that because during that month, during the 7th month to 8th month, what happens? Yes, the brain growth of the baby starts to develop during the from 7th month to 8th month, or the neurons are getting developed at that time. Okay, so and usually in that function, you might have observed that they used to wear a bangle, right? They used to wear a bangle, but those bangles are not the plastic one, not the gold one, not the silver one. Right. 1 minute. Bones are going to develop at the 3rd month, Prathamesh. Okay, yes, the glass bangles are going to be weird at that time because the sound of that bangles can create a vibes such a way the brain cells can actively grow of the baby. So for everything what our ancestors do have a reason, scientific reason behind that. Behind everything there is a scientific reason. For this also the same. Harsh, you are asking something. There is a fluid everywhere, then how the baby exhale? Is it a exhale with the umbilical cord? So Samarth, that's what I'm saying. There's a fluid everywhere, so the baby cannot respire on its own. The baby cannot respire on its own. There is an extra embryonal layer which is called a chorion layer. That chorion layer is going to helpful for that baby to pass the oxygen, and only the tissues and cells are going to be respire, not the complete baby. Okay, this chorion layer is going to helpful for that. Once the baby is coming out from the mother's womb, then only the baby can expire, respire on its own. Okay, is this clear? Is this clear? If it is clear, now we are moving to the last topics, that is what the parturition and the lactation. Yes, come on. Is it clear? Use the chat box, guys. It's evening. Be active. Great. Super happy. Samarth, you asked me a question. Just can you just ask me again? I just lost the question. Okay. Can baby open a mouth? Maybe, Prathamesh. Maybe, I guess. I didn't think about all these things. I'll just see whether it can be, because I can't assure you, right? If I am sure, then I can assure you. Okay. So now what happens from the day one, everything will get developed, Darshini. There is at the end, there is a one GIF which I like that a lot, that I'll show you that, okay, at the end of the class. See, from the day 1 to the 9th month, from the day 1 to the 9th month or to 80 days, there is a period where the baby is going to be developed, right? That period is called as what? Can anyone tell me the period from the day 1, the time period from the day 1 to the 9th month or the 280 days? Very good, Om. 9 month or 280 days. Only Om answered. That is what the gestation period. Okay, very good. Kiran, how does suddenly the organs? Wait. Yes. Nose is not going to work, Samarth. Brain, no, Pranit, 1 minute. So Samarth, notes is not going to work when the baby is inside the mother's womb. Whenever the baby comes out, right? Okay, I'll tell you now itself. I thought of saying this at the end of a parturition, but I'll tell you now. See, when the baby comes out from the mother womb, the baby starts to cry, isn't it? Yes, isn't it? The baby, once the baby come out from the mother's womb, the baby starts to cry. Yes. If the baby does not cry, then everybody around the baby get tensed, because yes, why the baby cry? The cry is the first breath taken by the baby, because so far the baby is present in the amniotic fluid. The baby is present in the amniotic fluid. All of a sudden the baby comes out to the area where the baby has to breathe on its own. Now the baby has to breathe on its own. Now what happens? The baby cannot. That's why the cry is the first breath taken by the fully formed fetus. Clear? And the brain, Prathamesh, the brain, you can see the brain is not going to develop it. The brain cells develops, and from the 2 years to 5 years, there is a period, right? From the 2 years to 5 years, after the birth, the 2 years to 5 year, what happens? Now the brain starts to form actually. Okay, Prathamesh. And Samarth, is that clear for you? And Prathamesh, is that clear for you? Great. Okay, so now the gestation period has over. Right now the gestation period has over. What happens after the gestation period has got over is that there is a fully developed fetus, right? There's a fully developed fetus, and that fetus along with the placenta combinedly forms a factor called fetal ejection factor. Fetal ejection factor. Okay, so this fetal ejection factor, which is formed, which is secreted by the fetus and the placenta. Fetus and placenta combinedly produces a factor called fetal ejection factor. This fetal ejection factor is going to enter into the maternal blood, right? This fetal ejection factor is going to enter into the mother's blood. Now, that mother's blood is going to get stimulated by this factor. Now, the mother's blood is going to be stimulated by this factor. So, once the mother's blood gets stimulated, then what happens? Now, the mild uterine contractions takes place. See, if this is a uterus, uterus is containing the fully formed fetus. Okay, and below the uterus, what is the, what are the parts of female reproductive system below the uterus? Can you tell me? Yes, can you tell me what is, what is the part below the uterus? If this is uterus, not exactly. Nishchita, yes, correct, but in between there is one more thing. Yes, cervix, very good. Okay, so this is a uterus, and below the uterus there is a small narrow like structure, cervix, and below the cervix there is a vagina. So now the fetus has to be come to the cervix, and from the cervix to the vagina, and through the vagina the fetus will come out. Okay, yes. So now what happens? If the fetus along here is a placenta is present, along with the placenta the fetus is present here, right? And this is a uterus. Now this fetus and the placenta combinedly forms a fetal ejection factor. This fetal ejection factor is going to stimulate the mother blood. Now the mother starts to, uterus of this mother starts to contract. It is going to contract. If it is going to get contract, the baby will go down, right? Yes or no? Okay, so but this contraction is not a very high contraction. This is just a mild contraction. This is called as fetal ejection reflex. How the baby comes out in a small area in a normal conditions, ma'am. Yes, Prathamesh, I'm telling you that now. Okay, first understand this. Fetal ejection factor stimulates the uterus, and that uterus is going to contract. This mild contraction of a uterus is called as fetal ejection reflex. Understand till here? Now, this fetal ejection reflex or the mild contraction of a uterus is going to stimulate the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland of what? Pituitary gland of mother or pituitary gland of child? Yes. Now, the mild contraction of the uterus is going to stimulate the pituitary gland of mother. Yes, very good, great. Okay, so if the mother pituitary gland has stimulated, now the mother pituitary gland is going to produce the birth hormone that is called oxytocin. This is going to produce the birth hormone. That is what called oxytocin. Now the oxytocin which is stimulated, sorry, which is secreted by the pituitary gland. Now what happens? This oxytocin again moves to the uterus, and now it causes the very strong contractions in the uterus, right? Have you ever watched the movies? Yes, most of you have watched the movies, I know. Right, in that you might have observed the pregnant ladies always they'll get a small, I mean little amount of yes, robo movie, yes. In that the pregnant ladies always get a small amount of pain at the beginning, and then later they'll feel a heavy pain, right? Because everyone not have seen in their home, that's why mm, we can learn many things from the movies, right? This is one of them, like a good news. Yes. Okay, so first the fetal ejection reflex causes a little pain, which means a little contraction of the uterus, and that causes the pituitary brain to release the oxytocin. Now that oxytocin causes the more contractions in the uterus. It can also be given in the injections. Oxytocin can also be given by the injections. Okay, so that forms, I mean that causes the more contractions in the uterus. Then that is where the female or the mother is going to feel very, I mean high amount of labor pains at that time. Okay, once the high amount of, I mean strong uterine contractions taken place, what happens? Once the high, I mean strong uterine contractions takes place, now this fetus, see this uterus is going to be contracted, and now the fetus come down to the cervix, isn't it? Now the fetus has to come down to the cervix, and here we need to know one thing: the cervix is very small area, isn't it? But from that small area, how the fetus can come out? I mean, how the fetus can fit into that? That is what the question. Cervix is small area. See, this is the water cervix, and the baby head is like this. So how it can go into it? Yes, there is a hormone called relaxin. There is a hormone called relaxin which dilates the cervix or which relaxes the cervix. Okay, relaxin hormone which is produced by the placenta. I have shown you what all the hormones which are produced by the placenta, right? So this relaxin is going to dilate the cervix so that the baby can move from the uterus to the cervix. And here one more thing we need to remember, that whenever the strong contractions takes place, at that time this extra embryonic membrane, that is the amnion, is going to be ruptured. Okay, the amnion is going to be ruptured during the strong uterine contractions. That's why before the baby comes out, I mean before the baby coming out, first the liquid comes out, right? So that liquid is actually the amniotic fluid. Okay, and if the parturition, I mean if we want the parturition to be normal, then the baby head should come out first from the uterus. The baby head will come into the cervix first, and then from the cervix it will come to the vagina, and it will come out at ultimately. Yes, if that is not possible, or if the parturition is not happening normally, then we can remove the fully formed fetus by surgical method, that is what called a cesarean. Is this clear? That is what called cesarean. Yes, is this clear? Okay, so fetal ejection factor is formed by the fully formed fetus and placenta. Then that gives a mild uterine contractions called a fetal ejection reflex. That fetal ejection reflex is going to stimulate the pituitary gland. By the pituitary gland, the birth hormone, also called as oxytocin, is released, and which causes the strong uterine contractions. And then the fetus will come into the cervix, and the cervix gets dilated with the help of the relaxin hormone, and then it comes to the vagina. And if you see the vagina or vulva, this is what the structure of vulva, where at the top there is a one opening for the urine passage, and at the bottom there is a one more passage for the, I mean, this you will call as a vagina. Through this vagina, the parturition takes place. Okay. Which is more harmful, surgical method or natural method? Nothing is harmful. If that is a harmful, nobody are going to get pregnant, right? We can't say that harmful, but the thing is that it is a painful. Samantha. But natural method is always best. Okay, here you can observe the baby head is coming out first. So one more thing, here you can see the placenta. Cesarean is harmful, ma'am, little. Yes, maybe Jagadish, because the mother has to take care herself a lot if she gone through the cesarean. But yes, nowadays the cesareans are happening more and more instead of the normal delivery or the normal parturition, right? So along with the baby, the placenta and the umbilical cord will also come out. Yes. And all the, what I can say, endometrium wall. So if the placenta is coming out, so placenta is made up of what? Placenta is made up of what? Come on, placenta is made up of what? Yes, Om, correct. Endometrium. That's great. Endometrium wall, especially we are going to call that as a decidua. And along with the endometrium, the chorion is also forms, right? So the placenta and the complete endometrium will also comes out along with the baby. It is also comes out along with the baby, and the umbilical cord is going to get cut safely. Okay. Did you clear with this how the parturition takes place? The first liquid which is comes out during the parturition, is that what? The liquid which is coming out through the vagina during the parturition is called as what? That is not the placenta, Gauri. Yes, that is a amniotic fluid. Amnion is a layer which contains the amniotic fluid. The fluid which is coming out is a amniotic fluid. Okay, and then the baby comes out. Along with the baby, the umbilical cord and the placenta, they can also comes out. Okay, at this time, at the parturition, 1 minute, Rakshita. At the parturition, what happens? The estrogen and progesterone levels are very low. That is why the complete endometrium wall is also getting ruptured. Okay, ma'am. When the first, instead of head, leg and hand comes out, what will happen? See, imagine, Rakshita, if the leg is coming out instead of the head, leg is coming out first, then the baby don't know that it has to sit straight so that it can come out. It doesn't know anything. So the hands, maybe it can keep a hands like this, whatever maybe the angle, the baby can keep the hands just for a normal for us. See, if we just, if the baby is coming out, if we just pull the baby, and there are chances that these, I mean, hands or the any part of the body can struck in the cervix or vagina or in the uterus itself. So how you can remove that? After the cutting of umbilical cord, what about the placenta? They are going to remove, throw out the placenta. And if they want, they can store the stem cells, Akshata. Okay. Once the baby comes out, as I told you, the first cry of the baby is that, what is the first cry of the baby? What does it mean if the baby is crying? That is the first breath, right? First breath of the baby, that is a crying. Yes, very good. And if the baby is not crying, you might have seen that the doctors are going to keep the oxygen mask for the baby so that the baby can get the oxygen, right? So if the baby is not getting oxygen, that directly affects the brain cells or that directly affects the brain. Then what happens? The baby can be a mentally ill, or the baby can be unhealthy. Okay. And once the baby comes out, the normal circulation takes place and the normal respiration, everything takes normally. And one more thing, have you heard about this hole in the heart? Have you heard about the hole in the heart? Yes. How does it happens is that we know all the humans. Harsh, is it really? Okay, you have seen it. I thought you have that. Oh God. Yes. So how does it happens is that we know heart is made up of four valves. Let me tell you, these two are the auricles and the below two are the ventricles. So what happens? The between the auricle and ventricle there is a septa, and also the between two auricles and between two ventricles also there is a septa. Yes. So what happens? The baby when developing in the mother womb, the septa between the two auricles, is not fully developed. Whenever the baby comes out, the normal circulation has to take place, right? At that time, that septa starts to develop. Okay. So that is why all the newborn baby contains the hole in their heart. That's a common. But whenever they are growing, that hole is going to be closed because the septa is going to be developed between the auricles, between the two auricles. But in sometimes what happens, the septa fails to develop. At that time, the people will get the hole in their heart. Okay. So whenever the parturition takes place, I mean, soon after the parturition, the hole starts to block. I mean, hole starts to close. Okay. This is about the parturition. Okay. And so why the females get a heavy pain during the parturition is that because of, I don't think so, Kiran. Average weight of a baby can be 2 to 4 kgs. Okay. So why the females will get so much of pain during this, and that pain can be called a labor pain because see this what the uterine has got contracted in such a way that baby has to come out, right? So that contraction gives the more pain to the females, and that is called as a labor pain. Okay, is this clear? Ma'am, there's a something after the first time. Yes, Samarth, RH factor. About RH factor, you want me to tell, right? Time 6:05. Okay, Samarth, let me complete the lactation and I'll come to your question. Okay, because yes, we don't have time, right? Okay, so during the parturition, the fetal ejection reflex triggers the release of an increasing amount of estrogen and decreasing amount of progesterone from the placenta, a decreasing amount of estrogen and increasing amount of progesterone from the placenta, oxytocin in the form of a maternal pituitary, and gonadotropin releasing hormone from the fetal hypothalamus. Natural birth time of a fetus is the first Breathe. Natural birth time of a fetus is the first. I didn't get you. Prathamesh. Oh, sorry. I launched the wrong poll. No, Mamata. I said you that once the fetal ejection reflex starts, which means once the uterus starts to contract, then what happens? Then it stimulates the pituitary, right? Then what happens? You have to guess and tell me. Understanding what are in my neighborhood, I have seen a baby which is unable to move and unable to talk, but able to understand what the front one is saying, able to feel, able to blink eyes, and able to smile. Okay, unable to move and unable to talk, but is he able to hear? Is he able to see? No, Danama. Okay, I'm ending the poll. And the results are like this. 7% of the people have chosen option A, and 10% of the people have chosen option B, 80% of the people have chosen option C, and 3% of the people have chosen option D. I'm stop sharing. See, just look at this. So fetal ejection reflex by a uterine contraction stimulates the pituitary gland, and then oxytocin releases by the hormone, I mean by the pituitary, right? Why did you guys give the wrong answer? Yes, what the part which doctors cuts with the two clips, that is umbilical cord, Rashmi. That is umbilical cord, where the long part doctors will cut that, right? That is umbilical cord. Now, is that the lactation? Lactation is a process of producing a milk by the mother. Okay. And soon after the expulsion of a fully formed fetus, or soon after the parturition, now the mother is able to produce the milk. And the initial milk which is formed is called as the colostrum, and breastfeeding is highly essential for the newborns. And here one more thing I would like to say, the hormones which are involved in the lactation. And let me write the process. I mean, there are two stages in the lactation. One is that the milk secretion. One is that milk secretion. Milk secretion by which part? Yes, come on. Milk is secreted by. Yes, Neha, correct. Yes, mammary glands. Milk is secreted by the mammary gland. Okay, first step is that milk secreted, and then that secreted milk is ejected, or milk ejection. Milk ejection. Okay, so what happens is that I told you already, during the parturition, which hormones, I mean, hormones like estrogen and progesterone, what is the level of estrogen and progesterone during the parturition? Estrogen and progesterone levels. Yes, very good. Estrogen and progesterone levels are low, right? This is going to stimulate, this estrogen and progesterone levels are low. This is going to stimulate the pituitary gland. This is going to stimulate what? Pituitary gland. Okay. And then this pituitary gland is going to produce the prolactin. This is going to produce what? Prolactin. And now this prolactin is going to stimulate the alveoli. Alveoli of mammary glands. Okay. This prolactin, which is secreted by the pituitary, is going to stimulate the alveoli, and now this alveoli is going to secrete milk. Okay, This is how the milk secretion is going to take place. So what happens? First, the estrogen progesterone levels are low during the parturition or during the delivery. At that time, the prolactin is going to be released by the pituitary gland, and now the prolactin activates the alveoli, and this alveoli secretes the milk. And where does the alveoli present? Yes, come on, where does the alveoli present? In the lungs. Not that one, man. In mammary glands also I have told you, right? In the mammary glands also alveoli present. If you are able to remember, I have shown you just go through the slides which I have shown you previous. Okay, there you can see in the mammary glands also alveoli present. Okay, now how the milk is going to be ejected is that one, by the oxytocin. Okay, how this oxytocin is produced is that once the baby suckles the nipple, that is going to stimulate the brain or stimulate the pituitary gland. That pituitary gland is going to produce the oxytocin. Now this oxytocin can contract the muscles around the mammary gland. Muscles around the mammary gland, so that the milk can be ejected. Okay, once the baby starts to, and sometimes the milk ejection can also be emotional. How means, if once the baby starts to cry, then that can trigger the brain, or that can trigger the pituitary gland, and the oxytocin can be released, and that oxytocin contracts the muscles and muscle around the mammary gland, and milk is get ejaculated, or ejection of milk takes place. Or if the baby suckles the nipple, then also the oxytocin released and the milk is ejected. Okay, this is how the lactation takes place. Any doubts here in the parturition and lactation? Is it clear? Yes, say yes. If you have doubts, ask me. Is it clear? If it is clear, say yes. How many months lactation period? So it depends. Okay, but compulsorily the baby has to be fed by the mother for 6 months. After that, it can be for 1 year, 2 years, in sometimes 3 years also. Okay, but 6 months is a compulsory. Why do some mothers not secrete milk anyway? Because of the hormonal imbalance. Okay. Yes, he was able to see. Can you tell why that happened? I don't know exactly, Harsh. There may be so many reasons. We can't predict that, right? If we examine, I mean, even I can't examine. I'm not a doctor, by the way. And yes, if the doctors examine, they can tell. But yes, sometimes that also affects the mother by not producing the milk, because if she's conceiving, I mean, sorry, if she's having any alcohols, drugs like that, that may also happen. Okay. Yes. Oh, that's not good. Okay. If baby is born, then also lactation happens. If baby is born dead, oh, that's why I'm saying, see here, milk secretion can take place, but milk ejection sometimes takes place by the suckling of the nipples. What are the causes of breast cancer? Sumit, you were not there in my last classes, right? Yes or no? You were not there in my last classes. Okay, Sumit, I have explained about the breast cancer and the causes for the breast cancer, everything. 1 minute, Pranit, I'll come to that. So, can you just go through the link which is there in the WhatsApp? Okay, in the WhatsApp group, there is a link, notes link. There you can get the notes on human reproduction. There you can get clearly everything is mentioned in that. This week, Pranit, you're not going to have a test, but we'll do one thing. Today, anyhow, we are going to complete this chapter, right? So what do we do is that on Monday, if you guys have any doubts, just bring with the, come with the doubts, and I'm going to come with questions. Okay, we'll discuss the questions regarding this chapter, and then on that Sunday we're going to have the test, so that will be easy for you to write the test, isn't it? So we'll have test on next Sunday, okay? And everybody should attend on Monday's class. Right, next is the colostrum. What is the colostrum? Colostrum is the first produced milk. Yes, thank you, Brent. Colostrum is the first produced milk. Okay, this colostrum is in a rich of proteins and low amount of the fat, and it also contains the antibodies which are called the IgA. So, and these antibodies are gives the passive immunity to the baby. Passive immunity. Or do you know what is a passive immunity and active immunity? Yes, come on. No. Okay. So in the immunity, yes. Oh, so if the immunity, if we got the immunity ready-madely, that is what the passive immunity. Or if we build immunity in our own self, or if our body building the immunity on its own, then that is an active immunity. Here, the newborn baby is getting a immunity or antibodies from the mother's milk or from the colostrum. So this immunity is called as a passive immunity. Yes, is it clear? So far we have discussed in the first post-fertilization events is that what are all the things? That is how the zygote is going to develop as a morula, then blastula, and implantation takes place at the stage of blastula. Remember this, okay? Or the blastocyst, blastula, both are same. And then gastrula, and the placenta formation, and what is the function of placenta, and how the 9 months growth takes place of the baby, and finally the parturition and the lactation. So development of twins, I have told you. So for your better understanding, there is a slide you can observe here. So the monozygotic twins. So there is a one zygote here in the first image, fertilized zygote, that is going to divide into a two blastomeres, right? So now these two blastomeres have a capacity to grow as a new individual. And obviously they grow as a new individual. This is a one condition how the monozygotic twins are going to develop, right? And these twins are always the identical twins and they have the same gender always. Next is a dizygotic twins, where the female is going to produce the two eggs, and those two eggs are going to be fertilized, and those two are going to develop as a new individual separately, called as dizygotic twins. Okay. Yes, is this clear about the monozygotic, dizygotic twins, how the parturition takes place, how the lactation takes place? Yes, if you have any doubts in this chapter, ask me. Otherwise, I'm going to summarize this chapter in just 1 minute. If you have any doubts, just ask me. Now the floor is open for your questions. Can I assume that you guys have no doubts about layers? Which layers, Prathamesh? Yes, yes. Sorry, I forgot to tell you, right? So, see, Prathamesh, what happens when the zygote starts to divide? Whenever the zygote starts to divide, first morula is going to be formed, right? At the stage of morula, what happens? The first outer layer, corona radiata, is going to be degenerates. And whenever the blastula completes, I mean, completion of the blastula or at the end of the blastula, the zona pellucida is going to be eliminated or degenerate. Okay. So in this chapter, we have studied from the first is that how to understand the concepts, ma'am. So Praneet, understanding the concept in biology is very easy. One thing, you should have the capacity of imagination. So how it is, okay, this is happening like this, like this. And one more thing is that you need to know the process. Don't ever by heart the things. This is my humble request, that don't ever by heart the things, one thing. And one more thing is that we are going to complete one process in each and every class, right? Yes, yes. Oh, so soon after the class, just try to make your own notes, whatever may be the subject. Soon after the class, just try to make your own notes. And in biology especially, there are so many terms. What you need to do is that, yes, yes, so many terms or so many new words, you need to just know the meaning of that. Just split that word and know the meaning. See, monozygotic twins. Mono is a one, zygotic is a zygote. Okay, from one zygote, the twins are developing, right? Dizygotic twins. So, okay, from two zygotes. So, how the two zygotes are formed? Two eggs form, and from the two eggs, the two zygotes will form. Right? This is what the dizygotic. This is how you need to remember. Okay. And lactation. Why the lactation name came is that lactation, where the milk of the mother produce contains sugar called lactose sugar. You know about a lactose, right? You remember, I mean, you know about a lactose. So whenever the lactose sugar is producing, that is process is the lactation. Yes, that's it. And parturition, yes, you need to remember the parturition. You know about the parturition as well already. And the morula, blastula, gastrula. These are the three stages, right? Can we do one sentence for this? Can anyone do one sentence for this? Morula, blastula, gastrula. So that we can remember the names. Okay, can we say like this? May I be your guest? May I be, may M for the morula, B for blastula, as your guest, G for gastrula. Okay, like that you can make some words and you can do. Yes. And the homework of today's is that read the textbook. Okay, so you can read the complete textbook. Now you have got the chance. Gas blasts more dangerously. Yes, Pranit. You can also use that. So that if you just make your own notes or like that, if you make your own, it is easy for you to remember. See, Pranit, now you can remember the blastula. But Pranit, where is the first has to be morula, then has to be blastula, and then has to be gastrula, right? Right? Just try to make in that way. And homework is that read the complete textbook. Please do read, because tomorrow you don't have biology class, and the Sunday also you don't have biology class, even you don't have biology test. So read the complete textbook and make your own notes. Okay, just make your own notes and discuss the topic among with your friends. That will be very helpful. Yes, from the next classes we are going to start the new chapters. So sometimes what happens, the friend can teach more, far betterly than a teacher, which means you can understand far betterly. Okay, so always try to discuss the topics with your friends, or you explain something to your friend and ask your friends to explain something to you, so that will be very helpful, what I feel. Okay, and complete the module. Yes, as we have completed the chapter, by the Monday everybody should complete the module, uh, so that I can ask you a questions. I'm going to ask you a questions on Monday only based on this chapter, so you have to answer me. Everybody, I should get the 100% of voting and 100% of the correct answer. Okay, see, just observe this GIF. Yes, the complete chapter is in this GIF, isn't it? Yes, do you agree? The complete chapter is in this GIF. Just observe that carefully. And yes. Personally, I liked it very much. Okay, I'm going to launch a technical poll. Sorry, not the technical poll, feedback poll. Just do answer in the feedback poll. Ramayana in one line, what I can say. You have something answer, no, Pranit? Just only say the answer. I'll listen to your answer. I think I know something in Kannada. Yes, just any doubts, any doubts? So anyone are having any doubts, or can we discuss the doubts on Monday? Or if you want me to ask anything, you can. And everybody should complete the module. Yes, say yes if you are willing to complete the module by Monday on this chapter, only on this chapter. If you are willing to complete on Monday, say yes. Great, guys. Saying yes. Good, 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 good. Very good. That's it. Only few students. So what does the other people will do? You'll just listen the class and you'll just randomly take the questions. What? No, can't do that. You have to uh, make your own notes, and you have to complete the module soon after the class. That's what I'm saying since the first class, right? Yes, whoever have completed the NPS, or if you don't have any doubts, you can leave for the day. Thank you. Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you, Rakshita. There is a noise, just avoid it, avoid that. Thank you, Akshita. Thank you, Rakshita, Jagdish, everyone. Thank you. Bye. So can I end the poll? What do you say? Okay, I'm ending the poll. And thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye. Thank you, Danama. Why are you becoming so silent? Come on, just be active. Okay, from the next class, you have to be. Everyone should be like that. But just now I got a message, right? So great. Okay, bye. Good, good. That's